we come to load balancer. What is load balancer? Load balancer is a system can be hardware or software, and it only distribute incoming request across multiple servers. So difference is that load balancer, what it does is just distribute traffic. It doesn't uh, inquire about who are you, why, and what are your eligibility, or are you eligible. Any intelligence questions it doesn't ask. It only just distribute them. If a request come, it takes them and just distribute over the backend servers. That is only work of load balancer, where API gateway has some other intelligence, and we will cover that in more depth in upcoming videos. So let's get here. It acts as traffic manager, deciding which server should handle each request. A real life example could be traffic police controlling cars at BG Junction. Tech implementation, load balancer sits between client and servers, uses algorithms like round robin to route requests. Load balancer can be between client and server. It can be client, but managing load balancer over the client is just such a tedious task. So what we do, we just, since there are thousands and lakhs of client, and requests can be in millions or billions, so we just but servers are few. There are few servers in comparison of clients, so we just do the load balancing thing in servers only. And it uses algorithm like round robin to route requests. So we will come to algorithms. Let's get to the another topic. So types of load balancer. So hardware load balancer, here comes the hardware load balancer. What it does, it is just a physical device to distribute network traffic. Dedicated machine only for managing traffic, used in banks and telecoms, installed in data centers, handles very high throughput. So, and here is a software load balancer. Load balancer implemented as software running on servers. It is just a simple program that manages traffic. Startups using 2-3 servers uses the software load balancer mainly. Take examples could be Nginx and Hproxy. So basically what happens, the physical load balancer or hardware load balancer is much more better than the software load balancer, because it can handle lot of requests with efficiency, whereas software load balancer uh, don't have that kind of efficiency. But hardware comes with some they are very costly and hard to maintain the physical systems. So what we can do, we can just purchase subscription of some providers like Google or AWS, managed local load balancing service provided by platforms. It is simple. You don't need to manage anything, the cloud does it. So e-commerce website during sale. E-commerce website generally have much more incoming request in comparison to off season or throughout the year sale. So what a startup could do, it can just purchase you know subscription of cloud load balancer cloud providers. So here are some providers: AWS Elastic Load Balancing. It has some auto scaling plus high availability features. The auto scaling means Even if, let's say, first of all, in first hour of opening the uh, e-commerce website during sale, uh, 10k visitors came, and then 1 lakh visitor came, then it will auto scale, uh, load balancing. No need to, you know, if we manage themselves, it will be such a hard task. So uh, the good example could be, Geo Hotstar. What you see sometimes in a start of match, some other players are playing which don't have much popularity. Some You have views in your right top corner, they say like 5 crore views, and then suddenly famous players like Rohit Sharma or Virat Kohli came, and then suddenly viewership jumps to, 10 crore or 35 crore. How that they handle that? That comes with the auto scaling feature and high availability, since they are they have very important sale during, festive days. So high availability is a must. So load balancing can be done on layer 4 and layer 7. Layer 4 is transport layer in computer networks, and layer 7 application layer. Layer 4 load balancing based on transport layer like IP and transport, IP and port. So based on IP and port, load balancing is done. Basic thing is that only. It doesn't look inside the request, just forwards it. It doesn't go inside the request. It just, if the request comes, it just need to forward it. That's only work it do. Streaming apps where speed is priority. Yes, YouTube or Instagram could be one of the examples. TCP or UDP. UDP is connection oriented and TCP is connectionless. So TCP is, I think, fast. You can check on that, but I'm little unsure about that. TCP is fast, so we use in streaming purposes. Now, what is layer 7 load balancing? Load balancing based on application layer like data, URL headers or cookies. Simple thing is that it understand what user is requesting. It goes inside the request, like a structure of request, and where the request is going to be delivered from. Like here the login request will go to server A, or images, if the user is trying to fetch some image over the internet, it will redirect to server A. And some technological example could be HTTP based applications use that. HTTP based application in layer 7, where, not only IP and port, that is on layer 4 load balancing, where layer 7 load balancing have focus on URLs as well. What is round robin? Round robin requests are distributed sequentially across servers. So there's nothing depth in that. Just if request comes, and cyclically we distribute them over servers. It doesn't go what server have capacity. If the server even if the server reached its capacity, it will distribute. It doesn't care about them. So like distributing chocolates equally, but that is the con of that. Default in many systems like Nginx. Weighted round robin is just like round robin, but it does um consideration of capacity. Like it has 5, suppose one server has 10 capacity, and that server has um come on that request. So if that server is have some capacity left, then only it will request to that server. Otherwise it will just continue to other server only. Server receive request based on assigned weights. So these weights can be provided historically, or real time monitoring also can be done, but it is much more costly than weighted. What is least connection? Least connection could be, suppose a server have 3 uh, capacity, or one server have 5 capacity, but the 3 capacity have one request have processed, one connection is continued on that server, where 5 requests have 0 servers. So what it does, it will redirect to the 5 server capacity, such that whether wherever the least connection are there, it will only redirect to them only. Requests are sent over fewest active connections. And example, shortest queue in a SOAP. What is IP hash? So IP hash is nothing but we are using an hash function. What it does, it maps user IP to the server. It's just map IP address of a server. If suppose user came on a server A first time, and then again after some time he came, then the load balancer would redistribute to server A only, because IP of that machine will go into that same hash function, will eventually deliver it to say server A only. What is least response time? Suppose time taken to process the request, least response time. And what it does, it monitors how well and fast the servers are doing. Based on previous data it monitors, and then only it chooses the server with fastest response and least load. Example, high performance systems use latency plus load matrix. Load matrix can be used like monitoring systems only. In the monitoring system, let's go to real world flow. Multiple server plus load balancer will be a smooth user experience. Like Flipkart sale, millions of users are there. Load balancer, what it does, distributes the traffic, prevents crash. Tech flow, user goes to domain naming system, and then DNS goes to request that to load balancing. Load balancer then to server, and response comes to the user. This is the cycle or flow that goes on. Advanced concept, water health check, mechanism to monitor server health. So these are just monitoring systems. Check if server is alive, remove the crash servers. So these are done in order to increase availability of that server. What are sticky sessions? Sticky sessions we have done ip based ip hash based load balancing. That is their sticky session, ensuring that same user is routed to the same server. Maybe the user is coupled to the server. Suppose we have one server that processes any image request. So whenever user goes on over internet and asks for image, then user load balancer will distribute that request to that server only. Login sessions, cookie based routing, these are one. What is auto scaling? Automatically removing adding servers based on load. More users and more servers, festival sale, traffic spike. And then final understanding would be load balancing is equal to smart traffic distribution, better performance, high availability. These are the things about load balancer, its type, algorithm. We try to cover these in detail. I hope you get so, and we will come up with the new topics as well, as we are continuing the system design series, and will continue to come up with the more videos later on. What you can do, you can like or subscribe only if you like the content. No need to pressure or something. Okay, bye.